Hi, Billy Goodnick. I'm at Seaside Gardens in Carpinteria, one of my favorite nurseries. And also the great thing about this place is they've got a few acres of planted gardens in different styles where you can see how some of the plants are going to grow up to their mature size. Helps you know whether it's going to grow up to be a Rottweiler or a Yorkie. I'm going to take you through the garden, show you some of my favorite plants, explain how to use them, and put them in tidy little groups so you can understand how to use them in your own garden. Stay with me. I'm standing next to a couple of versions of a plant called Loropetalum, and they all derive from a plant called Loropetalum chinensis, or Chinese fringe flower. But over the years, they've been cultivated, and different varieties of them have come on the market. And the one that people find most attractive are the ones that have these purplish leaves. Some of them are almost like a black purple, and others are more of kind of a blush color. So be sure to check the variety name. What I like about these is, as delicate as they look, they just look like something you'd find in a real finesse garden. They're actually pretty tough and get by once they're established, which means a year or two of deep soaking and letting them start growing up. You can cut back on the water quite a bit. If the plant never flowered, I think it's still got a place in our garden just for the foliage color and the beautiful lacy form. But the extra bonus is why it got its name. Shh, don't tell anybody. This is Chinese fringe flower. I think it's a very appropriate name. You can wear it behind your ear if you want to. So this is Chinese fringe flower. The original one I talked about, Loropetalum chinensis, is a white flower. They're harder to find. I love the way the white looks in the garden. If you run across one of those, give me a call, text me, let me know. We all know eucalyptus, those buddies from Australia. The big ones, the wind rose, all that sort of thing. This is a eucalyptus too. They come in a lot of shapes and sizes, and this is one of the smaller ones. This is Eucalyptus Moon Lagoon, and its real charm are these tiny little leaves and its kind of silvery blush. It's also got these sort of orangey brown stems, which makes a great contrast. Left alone, they'll get about so high, but they start to morph. The leaf changes and you get a longer green leaf. So the key to this is just to shear it. Every once in a while, you'll encourage new growth, and they'll always have this beautiful, compact, almost boxwood-like form, but they're also very graceful when they open up in the garden. I wanted to introduce you to this plant. This is called Grewia caphra, lavender starflower. It's a real problem solver when you don't have a lot of space along a fence or a building, but you don't want a vine that might cling to the building or interfere with your neighbor. What I love about it, aside from these beautiful star flowers, is that its natural growth pattern, as you can see, is more up and narrow. So it makes it very easy to prune into a two-dimensional form instead of letting it spread. But it's very easy to live with, takes really low water, grows in full sun, part shade, and it's just a real problem solver. Love this plant. Grewia caphra. Behold, Jerusalem sage, big bold plant. I'm standing next to what are probably no more than 3 or 4 plants, so count on them getting 5-6 feet across. That's how I usually space them in a garden. This variety is called Grande Verde, which means big green, and you can see from the leaves that's it. It's in the sage family, or salvia, and that's distinct because of the shapes of the flowers and also the square stems. It's this wonderful cheery yellow, and it has these whorls, W-H-I-R-L, whorls of flowers that are almost like the floors of a pagoda. And they go from having this wonderful lemon yellow color, and then they start fading. And then when the flowers are gone, it's still really interesting. I've used them in dried arrangements, and it's great. Very low water, takes the sun, takes a beating. It's also got a cousin right over here that I'm going to go over to, in a purple kind of lavender variety. But these are all Phlomis or Jerusalem sage. And this is the purple form. You can see everything's very similar. It's got these leathery leaves like the sage that we cook with, but it's this wonderful kind of cool pinkish lavender, call it mauve colored flower. Combining the two together is really great. There's another plant that pairs nicely with it that's related that I can't show you right now, but it's called lion's tail, and that's a really robust, dark, smoky orange color. So they all work wonderfully together, and they're all from South Africa, I believe.